Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to Chris's Inked Pens for July 2021. And today is July 1st as I'm filming this. I had all these pens inked up last night or early evening, but my lighting was poor and my muscle tension in my back was a little bit tight, so I decided to wait till today to do the video, and I'll try to get it out to you just as quick as I can. But we're going to go over what I have inked up for pens, and then I'm going to dive right into the Bond Travel Gear 68 GSM notebook, and we'll do the writing samples and talk about, I have a tile for each of the inks, so you'll be able to see exactly what I have loaded in them. So without any further ado, the first pen for this month is my Noodlers Ahab in clear, and it has a special nib on it. Pen friend Marilyn loaned me one of his Fountain Pen Revolution Ultra Flex extra fine nibs, and I ended up liking it so much I've returned his now because because he's really into the flex, and I ordered myself a nib and I put it on here because I had such a good experience with the nib that he sent on my other Ahab. Of course that distracted me from my original 8 pens, but we'll talk about that when we get to the report card. So this pen is the very first inking of it, and I switched it out the nib right away for the Fountain Pen Revolution one. So next up is the beautiful TWSBI 700R Iris. Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at what it was called, but but it's so beautiful. And I decided, you know, it has the rainbow colors, and I thought, well, I've done a lot of purple, and I still have one of my big tank Opus 88s filled with a purple, so I thought I'd go with a teal. Whoops, I'm not supposed to talk about ink yet. Anyway, this has a broad nib on it, and oh boy, I remember how beautiful it is to write with it. I felt like I had to give some other pens a chance, but let me make this a little bit closer for you. Just a little bit, okay, for now. But still, I'm really excited. Whoops, white cat hair is everywhere. Okay, then this next up is TWSBI Eco with a medium nib, and it's the red translucent. I think that's how they call it, translucent or transparent, one or the other. I'll have to look that up. So that's the next one. And then I also got out my TWSBI Eco Blue. This has a broad nib on it. It's kind of writes between a medium and a broad, but I've learned to kind of embrace that. And we'll talk about ink in a minute. Okay, next up is another awesome, this is number 3, Opus Omar, and I'm hoping it's the final one, maybe, unless I get another windfall. So yeah, because oh, and I already have the shut-off valve open. But this is the Opus 88 Omar in clear, and my theory was this might slow down my desire for more and more of them because it's clear and it's got the black and it'll go with any color ink. So, you know, what's this thing, Chris, about having to have several of the same, you know, pen model in different colors? Yeah, we try lots of things, don't we, to slow ourselves down and create speed bumps in this hobby, but we'll see how that one works. Okay, next up is a Genhowe 992 in clear with a broad TWSBI nib on it. So I love these pens. These are actually so much fun, and it has the cartridge converter. You could eyedropper it. Yeah, they're excellent pens. I have 2 of them. And you know, experimenting with different nibs on them has been one of the most fun things to do. So next up is one of my favorite pens. It's a Jinhao X750 in the pink, which I just, you know, this was Instagram pen envy, gotta have that color kind of purchased quite a while back. And I actually don't have a matchy ink, but I have a bright magenta ink in this one. And I have on this one a broad Yo-O nib that came from Australia. It came off of one of my Serendipities originally. Okay, and then last but not least, this is my Moonman M600S in the Tiger's Eye finish. And this was my anniversary gift. I think it was last year or the year before. So I got it out again because I love it, and I haven't written with it in a while, which is nuts, absolutely nuts. And I have a broad goulet nib on it. So it's just right up my alley. And it's interesting because July is my anniversary month. We're going to be, this is our 36th anniversary, Manuel and mine. And my pen that I'm, we're designating as my anniversary pen is stuck somewhere between Italy and Texas. And the company that I ordered it from, of course, has put in a claim or a inquiry, and that may speed it along. So, and they said that if it doesn't get here by next Friday, then they'll send out another one. But I'm just hoping, crossing my fingers. I mean, there's still a chance. There's, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's 3 more mail days where if it arrived, it would arrive in time even for my anniversary. But anyway, this is a beautiful, beautiful pen, and I love it. I love the ink I chose. So, without any more, let's just get right into the ink journal, and I'll have to adjust things a little bit, and we'll start writing with this ink. Maybe the adjustment won't be so drastic. Let's see, just a little. I want to be able to have room for each tile. So starting with the Noodlers Ahab, what I put in here is a new purchase. It's Robert Oster Australian Opal Grey. I broke my rule and I bought a bottle because I was just so sure about this ink. And I had a gift card. A wonderful, generous pen friend viewer sent me a gift card for Van Ness, and this was one of the things that I purchased. And I'm just really excited about it. I was right. I aimed right. I put in the card a sample, and then I said, no, I want a bottle of that gray ink. I'm positive I'm going to like it. I had seen so many people talk about it, and I'd seen the artwork and the complexity of it. Anyway, oh my goodness, at this rate, I won't have time for each, each pen. Maybe we will make that a little bit closer for you. Okay, so this is the Noodlers Ahab with the Fountain Pen Revolution Ultra Flex Extra Fine. So the Ultra Flex, wait, there's something, it's not just a flex, it's Ultra Flex. See how the wing part is shown there? That's how you could tell. So let's go here. And this nib that I got, of course, is not like broken in quite the same. And that's one of the reasons why I returned Marilyn's, because he's got it nicely, worked in and has used it and everything. And I was just so appreciative to be able to try it. So this is Noodlers Ahab. I just really love this. Clear. It's so interesting because it's okay, Fountain Pen Revolution Ultra Flex EF. I think that's going to do for a sort of a abbreviation. And it has Robert Oster. Okay, I am not a flex writer yet, but I'm going to get there. Australian Opal Grey. Oh, I just love this. It's such a juicy writer. Whoops. That didn't prove it, did it? But it is. Of course, you have to kind of, flex a little there. I'm just not used to it. Okay, so that's the first pen. Like I said, at this rate, I don't know how long this will be. Okay, making sure you can see what ink I'm talking about. The next pen is the beautiful Twisby Vac700R Iris. And this is going to be a wonderful month because I just love this pen. I already know it. I want to make sure I don't get gray ink all over. And I chose the beautiful Colorverse Gravity Wave. I just felt like that really does pick up on part of that rainbow color of the pen, and there's just no reason I have to be locked into purple, although I love purple. So we're talking Twisby. This is, I believe, this is my juiciest broad nib. The only one that comes close is the last pen that we'll look at, because that Yowo broad, that's almost as juicy as this one. TWSBI Vac700R Iris with a broad nib. Colorverse Gravity Wave. Oh my gosh, I can just, when I'm writing letters, it's just going to be like pen pal heaven because it's such a juicy writer. It's so reliable. I've got that valve open just a little bit too. I don't know, may not have opened it enough, but it's flowing really well. In fact, let's take a look because, well, I can't see really good today. I don't know what's going on with my eyeballs, but I can't see very good. Trust me, I would not want to run my hand across the top of that just yet. So one of these days I may get lighting to be under better control here in this place. Okay, so the next one is the Twisby Eco with a medium nib. I purchased this long after they came out. I can't remember exactly when. And it's shameful that this is my first fill. I just, you know, I have kind of overwhelmed myself, but it is time. It is time to get this pen in service because it's beautiful. I love it. And I really like the idea because I know the medium and I know this ink in particular will be really good in my, I was going to say ink journal, but in my bullet journal. So Twisby Eco Medium Red, I think it's translucent. I'm going to have to look into that because it really is good if I get it right for you in case you're looking. And this is Kaweco. This is one of my favorite inks. Ruby Red. This red ink doesn't behave like some of them where it's balky or crusts up or anything or dries up. It really flows well, so I like it. So there's that one. And next up is like a twin. We're going to have a red and a blue. And I chose Monteverde Horizon Blue. This beautiful bottle came from pen friend BH. But I've got a lot of things like that to look into, and I'll put them in the description. I just happened to remember that she had given me this beautiful little bottle of this ink. So, and this is a broad nib, and I had at first a few complaints about it, but I have since realized that it's okay. It's between a medium and a broad in my mind, but works just fine. And that's how I ended up with that spare Twisby broad nib that's moving around from pen to pen. So that's kind of fun too. Twisby Eco, and it's actually acting broad today, so it makes me look like a liar or something. Blue translucent. I was really happy, and my husband, I always show him my list of inked up pens, and he picks a favorite color ink, and this was his favorite color ink. Monteverde. I think I first saw it in an ink flight, but I'm not sure. It could have been a pen friend sample too. At this point, my brain is fried on that. There's so many, so much generosity going on. That it's hard for me to remember where I first was introduced to inks. So that's a nice wet writer. It's good. It's good with this ink. And Monteverde inks really flow well, so that's awesome. Okay, next up was also a gift, and I was trying to see, let's see, I should be able to tell. Yeah, okay, so my pen friend KS sent a bottle of this, and I think it was, I had profiled the ink back in January, wait, 1 of 6, I don't know. Anyway, sometime or another, and I'll link that. But she knew I liked it from my profile. I really, really liked it. So I've got it with a stub nib in this. Oh, I don't think I may have said it wrong, because when I talked about this pen, I don't even think I just said this is a stub nib on the Opus 88 Omar. And I thought that it would really show the ink off, because it can lighten up in other nibs. Okay, yeah, we're open. We're open for business here. It's always interesting when I go sideways with the stub. I don't know what I'm going to get necessarily, but this is a nice smooth nib. So this is the Opus 88 Omar with a 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 nib, and you know their branded nib. I guess it's I think it's a Yowo, but I'm not sure. Got to check into that. With Pelikan Edelstein Aquamarine. Now this is beautiful, and I cannot believe I haven't been writing with it more because it's gorgeous. Now it could be that it might be a little dry, but it doesn't feel it in this at all. No, it just doesn't. This is a nice juicy stub, but this is a first impression, so we'll see as we go along in the month, but I think it'll be a really good letter writer. Okay, and then next, now next I chose a Birmingham ink that is no longer, I mean, they have one called Twilight, but this is the old formula. So it's a dusty purpley gray, and when I compared the two tiles for the Australian Opal and this, I was kind of interested how, you know, of course you could see more purple in this one, but isn't that interesting? This you could see more blue coming out of the chromatography. So very, very interesting. It's okay. I try not to make, you know, like duplicate ink choices, but I just did that naturally because I'd been wanting to use it. And this is the Genhowe 992 with a broad Twisby nib just replaced for the one that came on it. And it makes it into a wicked pen for like a $1 or $2 pen. These pens are not expensive, and they have these nice cap liners. Can you see that? Oh, no, my hand just makes it. So they don't tend to dry out on me anyway, so I've really enjoyed them. Jinhao 992 with a broad Twisby nib. So you've got a finger that's not already. My fingers end up having a mixed ink palette on my fingers. So, okay, this is Birmingham. I love the Birmingham inks. They flow. They just don't hesitate in the nib. They're never dry to me. Maybe they have one that's dry, but if they do, I haven't found it yet. River, Twilight. I love this. I am super bummed that that it's not the same anymore. It's brighter or something. The new formula is different. But, you know, they may put one out and I just need to pay attention to the name or, you know, the change. And it may be that that'll be remedied, you know, like they'll do it again or something. So next up is Klinger Solferino in this beautiful pink Jinhao X750. Even though it's not a match, I just thought, well, that's good. That'll be really fun. So here we go. Oh, I just love this. I call it magenta. I'm not sure if that's what other people call it, but I think it's magenta, and I'm just nuts about this ink. Look how wet that is. And that's a feature of the Klinger inks that I love, is that I just don't have problems with these inks flowing. And there goes another generalization, which I hate to do, but it just seems like it's true. This is a broad Yowo nib that came on a Serendipity, I think, originally. It was the first? No, I think this might have been the second one. Let's see if we got a clean finger. Okay. Klinger Solferino. Oh, I just love this. It'll be like, I'll be picking these two up continuously. And also this one, because I know this Ultraflex nib is going to give some variety in my writing. And I like that. I've got a pen friend who uses vintage nibs, and I'd like to be able to show some of my inks off as well as he does, but I think that's going to give me that ability, you know, even though I'm just not into vintage pens really, and I'm not, I'm just like a beginner with the flex nibs. Okay, and last but not least is this gorgeous Noodlers Golden Brown. It's a sample I've had forever. So who knows how it may have changed over the years, but I mean, I thought, that came to mind, I thought, I wonder if this is darkened. But this is in the beautiful M600, is that right? Yeah, M600S Moonman with Goulet broad nib. So another gorgeous choice for letter writing, I'm sure. My husband looked at it and he said, that's gold. That's gold ink. And yeah, it's like wheat, light brown, bright brown, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I think you could call it gold too. So Moon Man, he's a lefty and he hasn't found a fountain pen that he gets along with yet because of the way he writes and smears. So that's something that I hope to help him with, because not that we can have two fountain pen crazy people in this house, but yeah, I think that that he would enjoy it, all the different color choices. Okay, Goulet. So I can't finish the thought. Yeah, because so when I first did this one, and I'm not sure if I did a review or, I'll have to look that up. I thought it was a little lighter, so who knows. And as you can see, this has a little bit of water resistance. That, you know, that did pretty well with that water on top of it. Golden brown. Oh, it's just lovely. Yeah, and it's really wet writer in this. So that's two of my wettest nibs. You know, the TWSBI Vac700R and this Goulet nib. Yeah, the Goulet nib, and also, what was I thinking of? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking of. I might have been thinking of something totally different. This one definitely is wet too, and this is that one from Australia. So I'd say this one writes a little wetter than the Goulet one, but not by much. And they are made by the same company, so I don't know why I keep going on about that. Okay, so those are the inks and pens. Whoops, still kind of maybe too close, for July, and I'm excited about it. And now I'm going to have to kind of use a blotter page so we can go back to the report card, because where are we at? 22 minutes already. Okay, well, I'll try to make this work without using all of my storage and jamming up. So June was a very busy writing month, in spite of my back pain flare-up and so on. Let's just start right from the beginning. And I did not get out all the pens. I got out my two favorite pens, plus I had something to say about this one. The Moonman Q1 Mini Eyedropper with TWSBI Royal Purple. This is so reliable, and it's so cute and fun to write with. But I wanted to say something about it. After a whole month writing with it, this is where I'm at. I love it because it's so unique and interesting and reliable, and every time I pick it up it works. I didn't have to change the nib because even though it's a fine nib, it writes smooth. But I like this one better. This is the original Moonman Wankai Mini, and I like it better because of how it posts, and it's not as ridiculous in terms of the girth or the section width. And, you know, even though it has the number 5 nib instead of the number 6, they're both very versatile because you can swap them out and do whatever you want nib-wise. But the size of this is just so much easier. And I have the little rickshaw, I probably won't be able, you know, I have the little sleeve for this, and also it'll go in anywhere. This one just won't slip into, I'm thinking it won't even go in the knock. Let's see. Yeah, you know, it's not going to fit in the Knox Sinclair unless I just put it down here by itself, and it really fattens up the pouch. So, okay, that's enough about that. But I thought that would be interesting to anybody who was still on the fence maybe about that pen. So, I don't have all the pens out. I've got them either washed already or in the tank to be washed. The Parker Jotter, the little orange one with a medium nib, I gave it a B+. It's very good. It's not as great for letters for me, so I felt like it was just a little bit too dry for that. But then again, that's that combination. It was good, but it just didn't give me that drastic, like, you know, show off of the ink or whatever. And it could have been the combination too, but a B+ is not a bad grade. So then the Midori fountain pen with Colorverse Number 17, Vortex Motion. I gave it a B+. It's a great little journal pen. It's still going even though it's almost empty. So this morning I was trying to write it empty because I really don't like to clean them until they're completely empty. I think I can get better flow with Noodler's Heart of Darkness, but I wanted to try the Colorverse because I had the sample. But I really think the next fill, I'm going to put Heart of Darkness in there, and that's going to be a journal pen that can stay as long as it, you know, a month or whatever, and then you have to clean them out from time to time or they don't operate well. But anyway, that's where I'm at on that one. Next, the Jinhao X750 with a 1.5 Goulet nib, Colorverse Stars and Stripes. I gave it a B. I know I'm real picky, but I just felt like this nib and ink combination was paper picky. It didn't like the CVS caliber. It wanted to not, you know, not completely form the letters, but it was great on Tomoe River. But I don't use just Tomoe River paper. Good Lord, I'd have to rob a bank if I did that because of the amount of notes I take on books I read and the exercises in the different journaling and you know, learning exercises that I'm doing. So it gets a B, but I think I would, like, I remember this pen, this same exact pen with Diamine Florida Blue, and it was just a gusher, a fire hose. It never hesitated on any paper. So the memory of that just okay. Next up, Twisby Go Broad with the clear one with Scribbo Verde Prado Solid A. The nib and ink combo was great. I still love Colorverse Supernatural better because it's 3 or 4 notches brighter and more saturated, but it isn't that far off, but I loved it. Okay, next, the Nemesine Singularity with the 0.8 nib, a little stub nib, Sailor, 50 States, Texas. Oh, that was a A++, just wonderful. Just wonderful. Excellent, and I kept writing it dry, so that's how wet it was, and it has a nice size converter. So, okay, then next up was the Kaweco Ice Sport, the little blue one. I only have 2 of those, and it was my first one, with Noodler's Navajo Turquoise. Excellent everyday writer. And I put a note that I need another converter. I started to realize that if I used it with a converter, I wouldn't have it inked up so long, and sort of, I feel neglectful of the pen if it's inked up more than a month. But I can't use that whole, you know, eyedroppered Kaweco quick enough, so I think I might get another one of those little plunger converters. I'm surprised to hear myself saying that, but I think I will. You know, someday when I order with channel money or pen allowance money. Okay, next up is the beautiful Opus 88 Omar with Monteverde Purple Rain. This wins. I mean, even though I had the 2 that got A++, the Nemesine Singularity 2 got a A++, but this was my favorite writing combination, and just, this is like a permanent combination as far as I'm concerned. I loved it. I wrote favorite, awesome, super wet writer. Just, you know, anybody who gets letters from me, or, you know, it's going to be in there because I love it. Next up was the little Kaweco. I added 2 more, so it's 8 plus 2. The Kaweco Sport Galen Leather Limited Edition. I had a 1.1 nib on it with violet. Oh no, it's the violet pen. With Jacques Sarbon Violet Boreal. I gave it an A. I think I'm going to prefer the double broad nib, and I already have the nib here to do the swap. So when I clean that pen out, I'm going to swap the nib. So I'll let you know more about that. And then this one, I already cleaned the pen, and I took the nib off because the nib was Marilyn's, and I returned that to Pen Friend Marilyn, and I ordered a nib in the meantime, so now it's on the other... Mine is on the other Ahab, so yeah, I'm not trying to confuse you. But since I couldn't do the actual writing here because I forgot to do it before. Anyway, it got an A+, and it was just so much fun. It would have gotten 2 pluses, but I don't know how to write with a flex yet. So I sort of look at my writing, compare it to all the practice that Marilyn has had, and I realize that I need to practice more, but it's just wonderful. Where are we at? 29 minutes. Okay. Oh no, well, I'm just going to have to do a separate video on all the other things I want to say, I guess. So this was a good report card. The pen related activities in June really helped me get through the flare up on my back, and I've made a lot of progress, so I'm feeling better. I'm always very enthusiastic, and whenever my pain levels are below 5, I'm like, you know, I can be this level enthusiastic. That's just my personality, I think. But it just really helps not to have, you know, terrible pain. So here's the one more glance at the pens before I go. And I'd love to hear about what you're inking up and what your plans are for July. For right now, my trip to Vermont is on hold. And Mom's in physical therapy and things like that, and so it's complicated, but I'm not gonna get a bad attitude about the delay. I'm just gonna know that and have some trust and faith in the universe and you know, God above, that when it's the right time it will be, and I'll know exactly, you know, what to do and how long to stay and what to do. So anyway, I'm excited about it, even though I don't even know when it'll be. So but there's a lot of other things going on, and I want to do an update separate video so that I don't crash my whole system here. So I'll see you next time. And yeah, this is going to be really fun to write with these. And I've got a whole bunch of pens to clean out, which I like to do. It kind of relaxes me, so I'll be doing that. I'll talk to you later, and have a great, great rest of your day and month and year. Oh yeah, we're halfway through the year already. Oh my gosh. Bye for now.